Thank you, Ram. So I'd venture to guess that most, if not all of us, have experienced a sudden loss in our lives. A friend, or a family member, or someone close to us. What about if that person was an inspiration to you? What do you do then? Jon Guncay talks about how he coped, how he has found happiness and fulfillment in life by constantly thinking about that person and how she continues to inspire him to this day.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Jon, and I'm going to be covering what it's like to lose a friend and a leader in combat, Ashley. To start out, I'm a local boy. I grew up about 45 minutes north of here, or at least it was when I was growing up. Nowadays, it's a lot longer, so we're going to blame Google and Microsoft on that one, all right? After I graduated school from Snohomish, I left and joined the Army, and that's really where our story is going to start. My first duty station was at Fort Stewart, Georgia, and this is where I would deploy to Iraq from, as well as meet my platoon leader, Second Lieutenant Ashley Henderson. I remember meeting Ashley and not really knowing what to expect. She wasn't really what I thought of as a military leader. Traditionally in the Army, junior officers are personified as being green, full of good ideas, and just generally kind of a pain in the ass. And though Ashley was green, she only graduated college a year prior, there was still an air about her that said she knew what it meant to be a leader. I remember watching her work late sometimes, and that was because she was taking notes on who we soldiers were and who our families were, what was important to us before our deployment. Well, we deployed in December of 2005 to Mosul, Iraq. Our mission was to train the Iraqi police and bring them to a level of professionalism that really wasn't understood during the Saddam era. Think of going from Mayberry PD to CSI, all right? There was actually one time that Ashley was lamenting about, I really wish I had a full-length mirror in my room. And to make a long story short, the Iraqi police brought back a huge mirror. They brought it back because they jacked it from the local barber, and then she had to yell, take that back, you're the cops, you don't do that anymore. She was so pissed. That's great. Well, on September 19th, 2006, I was out on patrol with my squad, as was Ashley with her squad. It was a typically hot day in Mosul, and I was sweating in my gun turret. When all of a sudden I heard a deafening boom and concussion. Ashley's squad had just been hit by a suicide car bomb. Waves were running up and down my body as we were getting ready to go, and by the time we were ready to head out, we were already told to head back to post, that somebody was already taking care of it. It was made known to us when we got back that we had one killed in action, Ashley. Since that moment in my life has never ever been the same. Immediately after my deployment, I started drinking heavily. I stopped working out. I was going deeper and deeper down the depression rabbit hole. Why couldn't it have been me? Why couldn't have I been the gunner? If I'd been that gunner, what would have been different? Could I have made that difference? Nearly 9 years after that, I was still trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces. By 2015, I had gotten married. We had one son on the way, but there still was a void. When out of the blue, I get a phone call from my friend, Sam. And she'd reminded me, as if I could forget, that Ashley's 10-year was coming up. She said, we really should do something in order to honor her. And I thought to myself, well, I'm going to school full-time, I'm working at Amazon full-time, I have a kid on the way, and I volunteer actively at the Veterans of Foreign Wars, so what the hell? I'll take this on too, why not? I have to tell you that taking that on was the most emotionally taxing and rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. In doing so, I also got to meet Ashley's father, Mark, and get to know him much more personally. By the time I had met him in real life, in person, it was 2016, and I'd been a father for about 1 year. There's cute Danny boy right there. Seeing Mark changed my life. He was an inspiration. To go on with his life and pick up his pieces, love and honor his daughter, and be able to be strong for himself and his family was exactly what I needed to do. It was known in that moment that I had to make a mental shift in my life. Ashley was gone and there's nothing I could do about it, but it was clear by that turnout that she's never going to be forgotten. People like her are a gift. In order to honor that gift, I had to become the very best version of myself that I could in order to take care of my kids and my family. So since then, I'll be graduating from Central Washington University this year with my degree. By the looks of it, Danny and Avery are about to drop a super dope 90s R&B album. Both of which are actually namesakes after her as well, Daniel Henderson Guncay and Avery Lynn Guncay. And I'm also an active member with Veterans of Foreign Wars. And that's been incredibly cathartic to me because in finding my veteran family, I've been able to find my voice and find a way to actually discuss how I feel about things and how I can get there. And that's me finding my center. And by being able to do this, I can talk about it now, as I'm doing with you guys today. You know, I couldn't have done this a long time ago, and to be honest, I was dead and still left in 2006. This has helped me move on. So one last anecdote that I'll leave you with Ashley is that shortly before we deployed, her apartment's caught on fire. Lucky her. And rather than freak out about it, she grabbed up her dog, grabbed up a Blue Moon, and sat outside and watched the place burn, because she understood the importance in being able to just move on what you can control. And it's also another life lesson that we at Amazon really appreciate. If nothing else is going wrong, at least we got dogs and beer, and that's not so bad, right? Thank you so much.